Wynncraft is one of the biggest servers in Minecraft, and it's been going for over 12 years. It's one of the few servers that's actually managed to gain mainstream attention, getting reviewed as if it's its own game. It's really set the benchmark over the years for what a Minecraft MMO could and should be. But with that being said, how good actually is the server? This is the server review series where we rate servers based on 5 key elements: gameplay quality, community and moderation, performance, visual design, and replayability. But before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe and join the Discord community down below. Even if Wynncraft isn't for you, we'll probably cover or have covered a server before that's right down your alley. If you guys do play on Wynncraft, let me know what you think, or if you play on another server and want to suggest it for me to cover, make sure you drop it down below and I'll check it out. Anyway, enough of groveling for your support. I need to keep what's left of my dignity, even if it's a very small amount. Let's get into the review. So let's talk about Wynncraft from a gameplay perspective, because this is a server that's been going for 12 years now, and you'd expect a lot of content. Not only is the tutorial at the beginning really intuitive and really enjoyable, bringing in the story elements of the server as a whole and giving you a good background and an introduction to a lot of the features, it also limits off content and slowly introduces it as you get through and do your starter missions. For example, you're given some items that you can't actually use until you've done your first 5 to 10 missions, and this is a really good way of making sure that the player is limited from going too far in, too fast, and basically getting slaughtered. At no point during playing did I feel like I was overwhelmed. I felt like everything was given to me at a slow pace that I could read through, and it also gave me information not in a overwhelming here's the info moment. It actually brought it in through a story of explaining where I went to, find out what items do, and find out how I can use and sell items as well. Miniature dungeons around the place is really enjoyable. The only small thing that I would put in as a caveat is the fact that I couldn't feel like at any point I could just open up my inventory in the wilderness and just look at my stats, because I got attacked constantly. And I know that this is the point of you traveling to a city and sitting there and kind of being calm around the guards, but it did get a little bit annoying early on, and I nearly died a few times because of it. I think one of my favorite parts though about the server is just all the other features that you can get and all the tutorials and guides. If you actually head on over to their website, you can look at all the statistics for yourself and other players. You can find out who has the most playtime, for example. There's some people there that have 2,000 hours on the server, and I don't know when they last logged on, but my god, do they need to get a life. I'm aware of the fact that there's a lot of irony in that considering how much I play games, but we'll just ignore that for the sake of the joke. The fact that there's an entire section on the website designated to items, so you can actually find out what items are good, what will fit your class, and there's an entire classes section as well. And then add in the fact that there's an interactive map that you can go onto to figure out where you are, what levels you should be to go into certain areas. And when you look at this map, it is so overwhelming because there is just so much that you can do, and so much of it's just a massive world, man. Like, it's huge. Another thing that's been added since 1.20 is a housing island, and it's a great feature for players that are maybe looking for a break from the MMO/RPG experience. You just head over to a hot air balloon that's inside of a city, and you basically get your own island. And this is a 80 by 80. There's a few features that are locked off behind paid ranks, which is a little bit annoying, but you know, they've got to make money somehow. And I'll be honest, I went and looked at the paid ranks too, and while some of them were quite ridiculously priced, you know, around $100, the content that you got for them in comparison to each rank being tiered, it seemed quite fair in comparison. It didn't really feel like on some servers where it's pointless getting the $20 rank and you might as well get the $30 rank because you get so much extra. Every single one felt about the value that they should be for what's included. Another small little feature that I quite liked is if you join their Discord and you link your Discord, you actually get 24 hours of double XP. Now, obviously, this is because they want as many people in their Discord as possible, and they want to have a really big community feel. It's a great way to kind of encourage players to interact and to make friends. Because, like, let's be honest, who doesn't want double XP? You're going to be grinding for a while. It took me ages to get to level 5, and I was killing everything I saw. Overall, though, the gameplay quality is really enjoyable. I didn't get bored, I didn't feel overwhelmed, and to be honest, I'd expect this on a server this big and a server of this quality. It's been going for 12 years. Like, I would be really concerned if the gameplay quality wasn't there. So for me, the gameplay quality is going to get 5 stars. Okay, so moving on to community and moderation. Now, I interacted with a few people while playing on the server, and people were just coming up to me typing, "Hello, hi, how you doing?" And it seemed like a really friendly community. Now, these people were all also around my rank of being quite new, so they were possibly just looking for some friends and just to party up so you can actually get through things a little bit easier. The fact that there's also a refer a friend system is a really nice way to bring friends in and get big groups together. And I really do think that the community as a whole is really nice and friendly, and I didn't feel like there was anyone that was horrible in the small experience that I did have. But also with MMOs, this is to kind of be expected because a lot of these servers do have a really big player base, and I would be interested to find out what the community is going to be like when you get to the higher levels and you're not in such of a new territory. For example, I'd like to know how friendly the more established groups are and how established players interact with each other. Are they more friendly? Are they more hostile? I think this would be a really interesting thing to find out, but obviously for me to get to that sort of level, I probably have to put about 200 hours into the server, and for the sake of the review, I really wasn't going to do that. But overall, the community and the moderation really did seem good, and for that I'm going to give it 4.5 stars, just down to the fact that I haven't actually interacted with people that were like level 70 and above, and I'd like to think that they would all be friendly, but I don't want to just say it's the best community possible without actually interacting with this side of the community as well. So 4.5 stars. Let me know what you guys think. So let's go on to performance. Now, this is a server with over 1,000 players basically all the time. I've never seen this server go below 1,000 players. If you guys have, let me know. But considering the amount of players, I genuinely didn't experience any lag. There were transitions where I went through, and I'm not sure if this was teleporting or if it was me going from a server to another server. I genuinely couldn't tell it was that seamless. But I refuse to believe that these two things were connected together that simultaneously, because I basically just walked through. Now, the performance itself was just... the fact I can't tell for this kind of says enough. It really is that smooth. And for that, I really can't give it anything but 5 stars. The performance is brilliant, but for the server and for the amount of money the server probably makes, I would expect it to be this good, but 100% 5 stars. Okay, so let's go on to visual design, because this server is phenomenal. It looks beautiful. The builds, just in the tutorial area alone, were absolutely stunning. The way the dungeons were laid out, they looked good. And the transitions between what you could see and what other players could see were also great. And the texture pack itself was also just phenomenal. All the custom items looked great. Nothing looked out of place on a player. Now, obviously, this is one of those servers where I can't really hold every other server to this server standards, because if you are a staff member on this server, you probably get paid for it. This server's massive, and it really is just phenomenal. I can't even explain how beautiful this is, and the builds that go into it, and the fact that there will be probably at least 50 cities that look just as good as the one that I was in. The whole map would have had to have been custom designed. I really can't give visual design anything but 5 stars because of how nice it is. And, well, I think I can get away with giving the server a pretty high rating. It wouldn't have gone for 12 years and be as big as it is if it wasn't actually phenomenal. And this server really does set the standard of what an MMO in Minecraft should be, and the fact that they use the statement, the Minecraft MMORPG, it's valid. It's 100% valid. They are the best MMORPG, and the fact that I'm not a massive fan of MMOs, as I've said on other server reviews, this server made it feel seamless. I didn't get access to things too quickly. I didn't feel overwhelmed. The tutorial was perfect, and it just had the perfect balance. You can tell that it's been going for a while and that they know what they're doing, and for that, visual design is definitely getting 5 stars. So Wynncraft is an MMO, which means one of the most important things about it is going to be the replayability. Can you sink hundreds and hundreds of hours into this server? Now, if you go on the stats screen, like I said earlier, you'll see that plenty of players have done that 10 times over, like quite comfortably. And I can see why. The only aspect that I would raise a little bit of concern about is to players that aren't much of an MMO grinder like myself. If you guys aren't the sort of player that wants to sit there and just constantly grind and do the same sort of stuff over and over again, I'm not saying everything they do on the server is the same, but the concept is you follow an NPC or you go to a quest, you complete a dungeon, you get an item, you review the item, you give the item to someone. It's basically like every other game in that regard, where you're just doing quests to get XP and you're killing things to get XP. And that's exactly what an MMO or an open world RPG or anything along those lines is. And if you're not into that, this isn't going to be the server for you. But if you do like that, and you like the fact that you can get to a ridiculously high level and sink hundreds of hours into this, then this is going to be for you. And if you are interested in playing MMORPGs, and maybe you wanted to give one a try like I have for the last few years, but you felt overwhelmed by the idea of playing a new game and learning all of it, and you want a familiar experience because you like Minecraft, then this might be what you want to try out, because it's free to play, because you already own Minecraft, I'm assuming. And yeah, like, why not give it a try? You could play for 2 days, you could play for 5 weeks, you could play for 6 years. Who knows? It really does depend on how much you enjoy it. And if you bring your friends along, maybe you guys can get a little group going and give it a try and have a play around. I've always been fascinated by the idea of Wynncraft, and it quite literally wasn't until this video that I decided, screw it, I'm going to go on and give it a try. And to be honest, it didn't disappoint. I do wonder how players that don't normally play MMOs like myself would fare when you get 100 hours in, and if you would see the replayable factor. But this server's not made for those sorts of people. It's made for people that like MMOs. It is a Minecraft MMO. And the replayability of the server in comparison to SMP servers and other servers around probably is 100 times what those servers offer, because they have to add content. You don't have the element of, I'm going to go to a survival world and make an auto farm. This server has to provide the content for you. And it has so much content. Like, just look at the map. The map's huge. It's massive, man. Like, it would be really interesting to see how somebody that's played 1,000 hours on the server would actually guide a new player, and I'd like to see that. That sounds like a really fun video, and if there is somebody or that has been done, then please let me know down below. I'd like to watch that. I think it'd be quite interesting to hear points of view from an experienced player on Wynncraft. Anyway, I've been going on a little bit of a tangent there. Let's actually rate the replayability. To me, the replayability has got to be 5 stars, and that's just down to the fact of it's an MMO. It doesn't hide the fact it's an MMO, and there wouldn't be people with thousands of hours on the server if there wasn't a load of replayability. So I'm going to take their credit more than mine on this, because I mean, I played the server for an hour, if that, so I can't really give an overall view of what it's like on the replayability side. But it's got to be replayable, and definitely 5 stars from me. So overall, what do I think of Wynncraft? I think this is a server that could really change the way you look at Minecraft, and it fundamentally changes the game entirely. And it's definitely something that I think you should at least have a look at if you're interested in possibly taking a break from your single player or your multiplayer world with your friends. If you are not interested in doing the massive Minecraft grind, and you don't want to go mining for a bit, and you just want something to kill an hour or two of your time, this could be pretty addictive. I completely forgot I was recording within at least 5 minutes of playing, because I got sucked into the story, and I kind of got fascinated by all of the elements that I've not seen on other servers before. Overall, I definitely recommend the server as a whole, even if you're just interested in finding out what it's like. It is really interesting, and it's definitely worth trying out. And I mean, you can tell the server's been around for a while, which is a good thing. A lot of servers get very comfortable where they are. They know they're big and they don't develop, but there's a lot of new features that have been implemented in the last 2 or 3 years on Minecraft servers in general, and Wynncraft is, well, it's kept up, and it's continued to set the standard, and that's a really key thing about staying on top as a server these days. If you guys have played Wynncraft, though, I'd be interested to know what your opinions are, and if you guys have played over 10 hours on Wynncraft, or over 100, just let me know. I want to know how much you've played this and what you think. If you think I've missed anything, or you think I've missed something that was worth mentioning, then let me know down below. If you guys do have a server that you'd like me to check out, then comment it down below. The last few servers that I've covered have actually all been suggestions from you guys, so it actually helps me find servers as well. And if you guys are interested in possibly playing on a server and want to know what it's like, or you've seen videos about it, then I'm more than happy to save you the time and to make the video. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.